everyone, and welcome to a Gem of a Secret podcast. My name is Donatella My Secrets.
And my name is Coco Gem Holiday.
How you doing tonight, Coco?
I'm doing real good because I love me a good bonus episode.
Yes, I do too.
So excited to talk about season 13, episode 2 of Drag Race.
Yes, on this rainy Portland day.
Such a rainy Portland day.
I love these rainy Portland days.
You're just like lost in thought all of a sudden. I'm just like, okay, girl.
Well, I'm just like meditative and looking out the window in our new and improved podcast studio. And, I'm just thankful for all the blessings. I'm bathed in his blood.
Bathed in his blood.
Shout out to Katya there.
Gosh. Episode 2. Let's start off with like what happened at the beginning of the episode, obviously.
Yeah. So this voting.
Yeah, this voting thing. I think I want to spend some time here. I think it was really iconic because you have complete strangers. And I know, oh my gosh, we should have done this. Do you know who you would have voted for?
Joey J.
I know you would have. I think for me, I would have voted for whoever I thought was the biggest competition based on outfit. Because remember, they didn't see each other perform. At least we don't think that they did.
Yeah.
Sitting in that room. They're just like waiting in that space. And they probably got to see the performances. But let's go with they didn't get to see the performances.
That's not how these queens went, though. Because they went with who they thought had kind of the most, like, to them, more like basic outfit. At least that's what the consensus kind of seemed based on their decision.
Yeah, and I want to say that
these producers are messy, by the way. This is all so messy. This is how we start the season.
I know it does seem a little messy and not COVID safe at all. And
turn you against each other.
Yeah, completely. But it's good TV though.
It is.
It's really
good. And it's
TV.
going to make even better TV later on because now you're going to have these two competing teams of like the girls who lost the lip syncs against these girls who think they're superior. And it's already like this feels like some sort of like experiment. Like it feels like a psychology experiment.
And so what happened, listeners, is that the entertainers decided they're like, we don't know each other, how are we going to put each other off? And so they went on based on outfit. And I think that the thing is, I would have voted for Elliott with 2 T's as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought that their look was so chic. For me, I loved the look. I thought it was super great. And this isn't necessarily a look podcast, obviously, because it's not a visual.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I would have voted off because I thought Elliott just had such a great style.
Yeah, see, I think that a lot of people think that just because queens wear separates, that it's like, I don't know, that it's like a less superior look. And I liked Elliott's look too. I kind of liked the separates. The only problem I really had, I don't know if I really had that many problems with it. Other than maybe the hair.
I mean, like, even the hair kind of, like, we talked about this last bonus episode. Go back to listen to that, listeners. But, no, I did. I actually, out of all the hair that was garbage on the first episode, I actually really liked Elliott's package. I liked the package together. So, what ends up happening is the queens all go to vote. And the people who ended up in the bottom of the eliminated, or so the pork chopped group, was Utica Queen and Elliott with 2 T's.
Yes. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, that seems so messed up to put Utica in the bottom because I saw that promo look and I was like, good heavens.
Do you think it was, honestly, I think maybe she was a little disheveled looking after her lip sync. And maybe I think that, I mean, if I would be kind of particular about that. I mean, we're on Drag Race.
Like, I would too. Well, here's the thing.
Even if we're in the loading dock, or someone should have told her at least. I don't know.
I just think it's like, okay, so the strawberry was a little ridiculous. So Utica had a strawberry in her hair, and then lots of different mismatched patterns, and it was like this kind of pantsuity thing.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they're all just getting done lip sync, and so she looks a little disheveled. So I guess I can agree with Donna on that point.
Yeah.
Like, if you're walking into this room after trying to dance your heart out to stay in the Olympics of drag, that kind of fits.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I would have probably gone with Elliott with 2 T's or Utica, specifically because I see Utica as somebody who's probably a really great competitor.
Yeah.
I'm not the All-Stars girl who's like, I want to win against the best. I'm like, No, not for me.
They're honestly both, like, the thing is, they're not bad entertainers. They're both really solid competition. I mean, especially based off of what we see in Elliot with two T's in this episode, which we'll get into. But yeah, both pretty solid competitors. And it ends up that, so they're the two queens that are tied. And it ends up being, we learn later on, a unanimous decision to vote out Elliot with two T's.
And I think that is so messed up.
It really
was like,
is.
wow.
It
like, I would
really
have
is.
been devastated.
Yeah.
Just devastated. And so then the next scene is like the episode starts pretty much. And then you see the winners.
Yeah, the winners they're kind of celebrating is like the five, I think it's 5 that are in there just kind of like celebrating. And they're happy because they feel on top of it because they didn't have to go into a pork chop loading dock and vote someone off.
I know.
So they're all excited, and it gets announced that someone will be joining them once RuPaul enters, and we find out that that person is Elliot with two T's.
Yep. And so this whole thing about somebody not getting to show anything about themselves is like not true. And then like I was actually kind of disappointed. I think it's good TV, but I was disappointed. I was like, oh gosh, that was a lot of a wasted episode.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, so listeners, as drag artists and especially as people get on Drag Race, people get booked based off of their lip syncs. And so having everybody lip sync in the first episode is actually probably going to help all of these entertainers more so than it will hinder them.
Definitely.
So this was kind of a good move for after Drag Race.
Yeah.
Because you got to see all of these people just killing it.
Yeah. For sure.
So, I mean, so it wasn't a waste of an episode in the sense of after Drag Race, but in the sense of a viewer who might not even go to drag shows, they'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. They enter and then they're told, instead of doing so it's typically a spring and fall runway mini challenge because we've seen this done. The first time it was done, it was in season 7.
Yeah.
And then they did it again. I can't remember. Maybe it was last season or the season before. I think it was last season. Yeah. They did it again as a mini challenge. And this time they changed it to day and nighttime looks, which I like. I think that's cool. I feel like we've seen enough fall and spring fashion. It's cool to change it up. There were some interesting looks in this batch, in this mini challenge. Who were some people that you thought kind of fell to the bottom look-wise and rose to the occasion?
So Candy Muse, and remember listeners, I know that you should obviously definitely Google or see what they look like, and maybe we'll put the looks on our website or at least link a video. Yeah. But because obviously this is a very look-heavy episode that we're trying to describe. The one I didn't really appreciate was Candy Muse across the board. Just across the board.
Agreed.
Okay, so here is something that I can easily describe. Candy Muse's nighttime look was like a little like kind of devil thing.
And great from the front, right? I kind of liked it from the front.
Kind of cool from the front. Kind of cool. Little shoulder pad number with horns. But when she turned around, there was a hole in the back of her outfit that showed all black. And you were like, what the hell? And later in the episode or in Untucked, they were like, what was that? And she was like, it was supposed to have a tail.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like there could be like a somewhat easy fix for that by wearing a red undergarment.
Yes.
There's a way to fix that.
Yeah, because you're on Drag Race. Did you think that like maybe the tail didn't get in the bag or she couldn't ship or whatever happened? But like they still have the wall of fabric in the workroom. She could have just, even if she can't sew, stapled that thing or something like that. And I know. And, like, I don't want to be that girl who's, like, trying to critique down to the last nth. But, like, my costume would be as good as possible by the time I hit that runway for the world to see and to be in front of all of those judges.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of, some unpolished edges for sure, I think, in this mini challenge. I definitely saw some of that. I'd have to agree that she kind of fell to the bottom for me as well.
Well, and I just didn't even understand the freaking daytime look. I don't even understand what was going on.
It seemed more nighttime to me. That should have been a nighttime look. It should.
I don't think it belonged in either category, to be honest. Like,
it kind of gave me like devil brothel woman, like medieval brothel, like
yeah. But what does that have to do with the sun in the air or the moon in the sky? Like, that's you're like, yeah, this is what it looked like. I'm like, how does that fit? Unless it's like woman of the night kind of thing,
like a lady of the night.
But it was a daytime.
But it was a daytime look, yeah. So that we can't even make excuses.
Yeah, it didn't fit for anything that was my fantasy, and I don't mean to rag on any of them for like the off chance that they actually listen to our podcast, but good heavens, that was a misstep.
Now, who did you like?
Not Candy Muse. Actually, Got Mick was actually really good.
Yes.
They're really talented. I loved the nighttime look by Got Mick. It was a black number that showed boy chest with like a pasty kind of thing, but it was just elegant too.
Yeah.
And the way that she walks is just I like fantastic.
I really love the daytime look too. I thought it was nice to see the change up of makeup. Because, you know, he was talking about how when he does the character that he normally paints on like an all-white face. And it was nice to see the change-ups.
But I see, this is why it was like almost like polar opposite with Candy Muse, because the daytime look for Got Mick actually had a rainbow on the dress.
Yes.
Like, it was very like sunshine after a rainy day, and you didn't confuse of what was happening.
You did not. It was very literal. Yeah. It was quite literally a daytime look.
Quite literally a daytime look. But I like that for Drag Race sometimes. I'm like, I still always go back to.
But I mean, so was his nighttime look.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a nighttime. It was a long gown.
Yeah, it was very
black.
literal. Yeah. So
because it takes me back to, because I think she won this challenge.
Which I'd rather it be literal than fucking confusing.
Yeah. Well, also with whatever Candy Muse did.
Yeah.
So in the season that they did like a over the rainbow kind of like challenge or whatever, it was Sasha Velour's season, and she wore a red pin. I talk about this all the time because I was just so floored by. Like with the judges, what they said, because she had a little house on her head, like a little pencil skirt and like a sweater or whatever, and then she like pretty much won the challenge because she didn't go so literal, but you could still see what she was doing.
Yeah,
and that can work.
I loved that look actually.
Yeah, and it was simple. It was very simple.
I was a big fan of Olivia Lux this episode. I really liked her looks. I liked the whole like 1960s ostrich feather like lavender
for the daytime look.
Yeah, for the daytime look, and she had like the lilac colored glasses that were kind of diamond shaped.
Yeah, because I could see that at the beginning part of one of those older movies where she's like walking down the street to go like meet her friend at a coffee shop or something.
For sure.
Like, and I could see that, and I would not see that look at nighttime because the colors were too screamy.
Yeah,
it was a very daytime look. Like,
it was.
So exactly in that capacity.
It also, I think, could have worked in the spring category if they would have done spring and fall fashion too. Loved her nighttime look too. It was fierce. It was
that fitted
like it was like kind of a reddish or purpley reddish brownish type of like it was like hugging her body.
Yeah, and she does the small purses, which I'm living for.
Love,
because seriously, I'll see if I can post all the pictures on the website, listener, so you can get a visual. But it was absolutely fantastic, and her hair is just always great.
How did you feel about Simone?
So Simone, I'm not in love with.
It was the nighttime look specifically that you didn't like about Simone.
No, and so here's the thing.
I loved her daytime look. The blazer with the cape.
Oh,
and
yes,
the Baps hair.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. That was really cool. Like this.
Yeah.
By the way, listeners, I love a drag queen in pants. Like, if you wear pants, I'm going to tip you all the money I've known. But Simone's nighttime look, the reason I didn't like it is, number one, I feel like Simone is getting by without styled hair. And this is not like a drag show where you're about to make $5 and no booking. Like, you're on Drag Race. Like, I want to see hair that's going to break your bank. Yeah. Honestly, like at this point, they've kind of set that expectation. And so with Simone's look, I thought the hair was a little bit messy, but what I really didn't like about the outfit is like, it's like she's like trying to rock down the runway after just getting off the plantation. Like, I don't understand what was happening here. And it was my God. So not fitted well.
Oh my God.
Donna lives in Portland, so she can't comment on that.
I cannot. My white guilt. Yeah, no, wow.
I don't know. Wow.
I did not like it when when it first stomped on the runway,
Mm-hmm.
and then the more I got to like kind of look at the look,
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I grew to enjoy it because I kind of got the references that she was talking about. She was talking about kind of the Matrix and like that party scene, very like early 2000s type of like club wear.
Yes,
And
that's right.
so I kind of saw like the asymmetry of it too, and I kind of liked the way that it worked out.
Yeah, I can see what was attempted. The execution was probably even fine,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't. I don't understand. I don't like. Here's the thing with me when it comes to drag. I don't necessarily like stuff that's like Like I can do like asymmetrical and stuff like that, but it needs to be done well and it needs to feel intentional. And for me, it just didn't feel. Oh gosh, I didn't love it.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. Yeah. I
Uh,
I
so Lala Ree is who I really want to talk about. Because, and I told Donna, I was like, I'm not going to tell you how I feel about this until the podcast.
Okay.
And
What are your thoughts?
I did. So the first look she did was with the braids, right?
Yes.
So love the braids. I think they're beautiful, gorgeous,
Yes.
and she knows how to model braids. And you know me, I'm a black queen who loves a girl in an afro, braids, dreads, anything. I'm about that life. What I'm not about though, that dress, that very, very simple dress that she was wearing was not the tea for me for Drag Race. I feel like I don't even understand. Like, when you put that dress in your bag for Drag Race, I'd have been like, yeah, this is totally going to win me something. Like, what? What? I was like, no, no. And it's not even the tripping on the dress or what, because the heels were fine. She modeled it beautifully and she looked gorgeous. Just daytime, no, for me.
Yeah, no, it didn't scream daytime for me. I didn't really, didn't get it.
I didn't get
Her
it.
nighttime look looked like a lot of things I see a lot of queens wearing. Lala Ree's fashion is not impressing me so far. I get now that her look that she did her lip sync with and her entrance with was actually a Beyonce reference, and I saw the look that Beyonce did, and it just wasn't executed nicely as like it was very
Right.
cheaply executed as like a mimic of what Beyonce wore. And of course, like, we don't expect people to pull off what these big name designers are wearing, but like, I feel like if you're going to reference a look, you should try to do it better, or,
Yeah, no,
or make
I
it
agree.
or make it
There's
exactly like it, not yeah. So I don't know, I'm not super impressed with her fashion just yet.
I'm
I liked
not
her
either.
I liked her runway look this episode, but yeah.
Um, I can't remember what Lala Ree did for the nighttime look. All of a sudden,
It had the mesh shoulders.
oh,
You kind of
I
liked
did.
it.
I liked it. Because
Yeah.
I like mesh. I like mesh on drag artists. I think it's because I have this love hate relationship with mesh and drag queens.
Yeah.
Because normally you'll see when drag queens first start, they go to like a sex store and they'll get like a mesh bodysuit or whatever. And I never really had the ability to wear those.
Yeah.
And then like I finally found my first one like a year and a half ago because I just really loved that simplistic style of just a mesh suit.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I liked it so much. And it fit well, I feel. And it did feel nighttime to me.
Yeah.
Mesh is nighttime to me.
Yeah.
Run away. So Tina Burner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Oh darn.
Oh, let's talk about Scandal though, real quick. If you didn't see this, so everybody keeps saying that Tina Burner, she's giving real big Sherry Pie vibes, is what people keep saying.
That's unfortunate.
And she said, y'all, that's not a fun or interesting way to talk about
No.
me. She's like, there are very real victims to what happened with Sherry Pie.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know that like we wear big costumes and blah blah blah, and we have a similar build, but like that's not fun and it's not cute and that's not cool.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, that's not cool at all. And I agree with that. We need to stop comparing campy New York queens to her.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
And let's just like forget about her.
Yeah. So her night and days, they were good to me.
It's still the orange and yellow theme, which I like.
Those colors just clash.
Thankfully, she didn't do it for her runway. She did do it for her performance look, but those colors. I mean, it just so those colors psychologically, those colors actually elicit hunger in people. That's the reason why McDonald's, Burger King, all those fast food places, Arby's use those colors. So.
Yeah, I do get hungry when I see McDonald's.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. Like it's a weird color combination to like wear.
It really
like
is.
I want to make people hungry.
I want to make people hungry.
But also like funny because she's a campy queen.
Yeah,
so.
She's very campy, and I think that she's absolutely fantastic. And I see Tina Burner going far.
Yeah,
mainly because like she has this like I call it like the Mayhem Miller syndrome a little bit in the sense of like the kindness. And kind of fun and just like easy to get along with.
But also not afraid to like call shit out when she sees it at
absolutely.
all. She seems very, very that, you know?
Yes, very, very that.
Very that. I think she's cool.
The only person we forgot is Elliot with 2 T's we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah. Elliot with 2 T's. Her daytime look fulfilled the assignment and her nighttime look did that and more. I thought her daytime look like was good, cute. It reminded me of Scarlet Envy's look that Scarlet constructed on the first episode of her season when they all had to make their looks.
Oh yeah. I liked it. I liked the whole package. I thought it was good.
Yeah, Elliot definitely fulfilled the assignment and more. And yeah, I liked her this episode.
So for the runways, which I know it's like once again. Let's talk about the performance because that's not as visual per se.
Well, so they have to start choreographing the entire thing themselves. So instead of having a choreographer like they typically do, they have to come up with that. How did you feel about what they came up with?
I thought it was dreadful.
Oh God.
Now, I know that it sounds like me and Donna especially me, just dogging on all these people because I'm not on that stage. But the fact is, like, I would have probably said to each of the entertainers while we were on stage, I'd be like, hey, like, I know, like, we're in the first season, like a first couple rounds of like this stuff. And so they're not expecting it to be talented. We don't have a choreographer. Like we're coming up with it ourselves. I was like, but if we just spend a little extra time, like we can, like, if we really hit these moves out, like we could make it super cute. I basically would have said, I was like, I don't want to embarrass myself on TV.
Yeah.
I think is what I would have gone. Be like, so if we want to do it, let's do it. But I want it to be cute.
Yeah. For sure. So you kind of agreed with like what Lala Ree was saying when she was like, this is kind of whack.
No, no, and like me and Donna just recently watched it right before we started filming, and it was the girls in the background. I'm really big, and Donna can tell you this. Like when I choreograph numbers, I want the girls in the back to be doing something the whole time.
Yeah,
and I know it can get overwhelming. You're like, I'm not even lip syncing this part, and I have all these dance steps.
Yeah,
but the other girls in the back were just like clapping or a little hand move or a pose.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
and even the choreography together. Like I didn't really understand how when it came to the main challenge, Candy was messing it up.
Yeah,
while they're choreographing, we learn that Elliot has a dance background and doesn't step up to choreograph the routine.
Yeah, which was odd.
Was it odd or was it smart? Like to not show all your cards right away.
I think maybe Donna's right because you don't get extra points if you choreograph the routine.
Yeah.
Like, Rue's not like, oh, yeah, she gets to stay. And I mean, I know Rue makes a lot of choices and about who stays and who goes. But the one thing it would have been smart about is, like, people stay when they make good TV.
Yeah.
So if Elliot was like, yes, I'm a kick-ass dancer and, like, blah, 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 maybe.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I think it was kind of smart, maybe, to not show it right away. I mean, Tina kind of called it out when she started like giving suggestions, though. She was like, "Oh, so now you're a dancer," because
oh dang,
yeah. So that was, I mean, I think that was one thing, but I think it's kind of smart to maybe not show all your cards right away. Mm-hmm. And I think she did show them though during the performance when she was doing the split and kill it. Like she was the one that was killing the the background choreography, like so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, she did. Like I remember I was rewatching and I was like, dang, like because I was just really excited about what she was serving it because it was really great.
Yeah. I think we definitely should talk about when Gottmik kind of had that moment of experiencing dysphoria about hearing himself sing Gottmik was
Oh,
born,
right. So the best way that I like to think of dysphoria is I actually think of it as the opposite of euphoria. Knowing that, like, especially when it comes to gender identity, euphoria is like when you're called the correct pronouns, you feel in your skin. When when like somebody passes you the check out of some toxic masculinity and you're like, oh, I must be presenting well. Like you get this sense of euphoria because society is accepting you how you see yourself. But dysphoria can come from outside factors or internal factors to where when you hear your voice, and then you think you sound too feminine, you experience dysphoria because that's not how you see yourself. How you sound is not how you see yourself in your brain. And so that's kind of what happened to Gottmik. And dysphoria is a huge thing with the trans community.
Definitely.
Because other people can push them into dysphoria. But I've even heard simple examples of, like, I couldn't get my hair right this morning. It didn't look feminine enough. And I experienced dysphoria all day long to the point I couldn't even leave the house. So it's just having something that triggers you to not being able to see yourself how you view yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And it was kind of, I think, a cool teaching moment that they had while they were getting ready for the challenge when Olivia and Gottmik got to have that conversation about pronouns too.
Yes. Yeah, I really liked that. Well, actually, the funny thing is I live in Portland now, so I did not like how they handled that conversation, but I liked that the conversation happened.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, because I feel like, because it was more like education through communication versus like education through knowing, because they're not supposed to technically, talk to cameras or whatever. But I feel like that would have been a really great moment to, I don't know, like, because in Portland, it's a really huge thing about entertainer pronouns. And there's been different examples on both sides. Some trans male drag queen entertainers say, oh, I like she, her all the time because that's how gay men react to each other. That makes me feel more accepted. And then in the same vein, you'll get that same trans person being like, a different trans person being like, actually, I do want he, him out of drag, and I want she, her in drag. And if you call me she, her out of it, it's going to cause me a lot of dysphoria. And both are acceptable because all trans experiences are different. But I think and I think they did touch on that, like all experiences are different kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. No, I thought it was neat how it came up in conversation. And just being able to experience that, because those are conversations that need to happen, because there's a lot of people that, don't really understand. And having those educational moments are, it's good to show that those happen, because they do, it's part of life.
Yeah, and even how RuPaul changed it to racers, start your engines, and made the best drag queen win.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, because it also, if they keep doing that, it'll respect when there is an entertainer who is critical about them being a they, them in drag. Because that will fit with that. Like racers, start your engines. That'll help with that as well as we move forward.
Still excluding drag kings, but,
Yes, but hopefully it would change. The racers part is what I really like.
I like that,
So hopefully that will include them at some time.
Yeah, definitely.
What else about the performance did you feel?
Oh, poor Candy. This just was not her episode. That's the sad thing. I mean, it's exactly how Ross Matthews addressed basically Candy having a bad episode. He was like, but can I keep her? Can we keep her? Because she is very lovable. I don't think that she comes off as like the annoying loud, like how they edited Silky during her season, which was
problematic.
It was very problematic. And I think Candy is trying her best. And this just was not a great episode for her. She stumbled with the choreography, and also just you couldn't really understand a lot of her rap or her verse in the song.
Right. Well, and the thing is that I as drag artists, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Actually, it's what everything Ross said.
Yeah.
I think it was Ross. Or no, it was one of the other judges who was like, when you mess up and you're in the front, like, they have to follow you.
Yeah.
You do it, and you do it however you want to do it, and they're just going to look like they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. When you're in the front, like, there are plenty of times when I've been in a girl group number where my part was in the front for a minute, and I messed up so bad.
Yeah.
But I just keep going with it because you have to.
Yeah.
But I know there's cameras. This is a bigger stage, so it's understandable.
Yeah, for sure.
And they don't get a lot of sleep, from what I understand.
Yeah. 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 That would be hard under all that pressure.
Gosh, I don't know how I could do it. So let's talk about, so the final part of the episode is obviously the runways.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to necessarily go into, obviously that is incredibly visual. So we can't really express that per se, but we can just talk about who are your favorites, I guess.
Yeah, I liked Got Mixed the most, I think. She looked like a dragon going down that with all the like gold lame kind of flowing behind. And that's the thing I like about lame is that it has that flowy property to it, plus like the reflective, and it just looked really cool to me.
Yeah, I like Got Mixed, and I liked Tina Burner's, actually.
Yeah,
I like a head-to-toe look.
I liked that Tina Burner one that's completely monochromatic. Yeah. I like, and very chrome, too, because Tina Burner was the Tin Man.
Very, very chrome.
Yeah, no, I think it was nice to see Tina Burner in something other than the hunger-inducing yellow and red.
Well, and also yellow and red, I mean, like, it works at McDonald's. I don't like seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, it just reminds me of Ronald McDonald when it's...
Oh, gosh, it's such tea.
Yeah.
So who did you not like
on the runway? See, I really loved a lot of this runway. The ones that kind of fell short for me. See, I even though I said earlier that Lala Ree's looks have been falling short, I really loved this look. It was very classic golden drag, and she looked stunning in it. So I have to give her props there. But my least favorite, I would have to say, would be between Elliot with 2 T's and Candy Muse.
Okay.
I didn't dislike Elliot with 2 T's because it was like poorly constructed. It was just like you fulfilled the assignment, and that's
Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. There wasn't really any on the runway that I was just like, like, why is this person even standing on this stage? Like, there wasn't a lot of that, and I like those kind of episodes as well. So let's merge into obviously the lip sync, the final lip sync.
Yeah. So it was between Olivia Lux and Simone. I didn't fully understand why. I guess I didn't fully understand why Simone was in the top for the performance, because I thought that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought Lala Ree performed really well, and I thought Elliot with 2 T's performed really well, but I thought Simone's part, yes, it had charisma and it had that full Simone, but it was kind of short, and it didn't stand out to me. Definitely not as much as Olivia's.
Yeah, Olivia's part was great, and also here's the thing about Olivia: that smile can. Oh my goodness, it's so great.
Gosh.
It's so beautiful.
I fall in love with her every time she smiles. Like in her confessionals, when she's in drag, I'm just like, she has got that it factor for me.
Right.
And she's shown that. And when all the girls basically were asked, like, while they were getting ready, who they thought was their biggest competition, no one brought her up. And it's because she is a newcomer, but she's a newcomer she's a newcomer with some talent. Like a newcomer with some talent like I've never seen before. Very true ingenue is
Yeah.
There
you go. And so I did not. This is actually, I forgot to mention this. So was there just a sale on like long braided hair? I just feel like even Tina Burner and her nighttime look, and even in the first episode there was somebody with Denali, which is I was like, was there a long braided hair sale? Did I miss out? Like, dang, can I go back in time and get mine?
Right?
Jeez, it's the long braided hair. Gosh, and it's all the same hair with different colors.
I mean, it is. Yeah. No. So yeah, Simone wore her long braided hair in her boxer uniform. The lip sync itself, I mean, it was very hard for Olivia to fully perform a fast song in a very classic looking, like old Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
style
and the
gown.
heels looked. Gosh, I was like, my stiletto.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did feel bad for Olivia, because here's the other thing that happened. So the second the song started, she almost lost both of her earrings, and she was wearing pageant earrings.
Yeah.
And they fell off. And then as she moved more, her dress was kind of getting in her way. And then the other thing that was happening, because it's styled hair, pageant styled hair that is like built for a runway, it started coming apart. And this sucks because she's in the top technically. Yeah. And like by the end of it, she looks disheveled as hell.
Yeah.
Like, which
yeah,
is unfair.
She looked like she went through it.
No. Like, what's she supposed to do with that? And an evening gown with
And meanwhile, like, Simone is, like, all just, like, pretty skipping around in her, like, little, like... I mean, granted, she was already supposed to look like she went through, like, a round of boxing. But,
yeah.
you know, like, she still looked... She was, like, very just, like, you know, put together, skipping around in her little long braids.
You know what I would have liked about... Even though she was in the top... what I would like about Simone's look more is if, like, she would have blacked out a few teeth and then actually painted her face like she was just
like
in a fight.
Bruise or something.
Yeah, I thought that would have been.
She did have
really
the gash wound on her head with the bandage, but it was maybe a little more.
Just push it, I guess.
Yeah.
And if she didn't have the skills, she didn't know the skills. I don't mean to be so critical because she was in the top and
Yeah.
well deserved because that
She
was a
was.
really smart way of going about this challenge, honestly.
It was, and her runway look alone was enough to justify her, you know, being in the top because it was a very smart way to do LeMay, I thought.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. You know. And here's the thing too, like, I better start seeing some styled hair coming out of that girl. I am not joking. Like, we are at the line, girl. Like, you, like, I mean, I know I did it on Camp Wanakiki where I was like, I can wear these braids all day long in every look if I can, because they can't say nothing. But, no, seriously, like, girl, I love you, but dang. This next episode, she better not walk out with another shake and go.
So Simone with her hair that Coco absolutely hates. No.
I'm gonna get canceled.
Simone with her lovely long braids wins the lip sync. And the $5,000 tip.
Donna's like, so with that, she wins. After Coco's just ragging on her. Whatever, girl.
She's just hating on Candy Muse and Simone this episode. Coco's out for blood.
Oh, gosh. I know that we submit this podcast to, like, RPDR, like, groups and whatever, and I know that they're going to leave us beautiful hate comments for the people that they love, but honestly, like, any publicity
is good publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Great. This is where we're going with this. I'm, like, all timid and shy about being canceled, talking about my white guilt, and Coco's like, nope, we're just gonna, like, steamroll ahead.
From the plantation.
Everyone's gonna, oh my god, everyone is going to hate us. No.
Goodness.
But yeah. Speaking of fashion, what are you wearing tonight?
Oh no, I'll go first. I actually thought about this.
Okay,
so
cool.
Before I put it on,
yeah.
So I really wanted to take a step out of Candy Muse's very basic book she has, and I wanted to wear a nightie, but instead of wearing a nightie, I decided to wear pajamas, and then the pajamas that I'm wearing have no top. Specifically, I'm Donald Ducking it, but in reverse, because you remember a couple weeks ago I was Donald Ducking it.
Yeah,
so now I'm just wearing black X's on my titties, and then I'm just like wearing cute pajama bottoms that are like silk.
Definitely, yeah. It's,
no
it's
wig.
Cute. Oh, no wig. Okay. yeah. It's something.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's cute. It's funny that you say that because my look is actually Candy Muse inspired as well. I am specifically dressed up as the tail that she forgot to that red look.
Oh gosh, I love us.
I do too. How do we feel like? Let's talk about a little bit of predictions.
Yes,
really quick.
So I kind of want to talk about who I see kind of being in the top. I kind of really see Tina Burner making it really far because of like the dynamic, how dynamic they are as an entertainer. I really do see that, like just shining through. I also see the same kind of stuff from Olivia Lux as well because of that personality, but I also see Simone going really far.
Same. I was going to say those three. I see a good storyline for each of them.
I do too, because I think I said it early in this episode, and if not, I apologize, but Simone has the Bob syndrome where she could piss on that stage and they'd be like, ooh, God, she's just really peeing. Like, you know, because she is, like, she does that little head turn and she just...
The charisma just comes out when she performs.
Oh, and she's so southern. She's so Southern.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's beautiful. Like, that's the other thing, too. She's just gorgeous, walking around with her nobody and her oiled legs to just show everybody that we will never look that pretty.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I love her to death.
I do too.
Was that your projections too?
Yeah, it was those three. I was like, I see story arcs for those three people.
Well, then let's say, who do we think is going to go home next Thursday? Let's do that.
Well, I think what the preview showed is that it's going to be the losing group of girls are going to have their own episode like this episode.
Oh, then somebody probably would go home then on that next episode.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to do that. Yeah, that's true because they're the losers.
Yeah, so somebody really should probably go home. Like, we can't just have a whole season where no one goes home. Gosh. Like, yeah. I was only booked for 2.5 months for the viewing party.
Someone should go home since it's it's the group of people that are, have the highest stakes.
Oh gosh, this makes me just sound terrible. Because I forgot her name, but I know who I would actually not like to go home. But but I do know who I want to stay from that group. Like, I want Rose to go a little bit further.
Yeah.
I really see that. I actually want Utica to go a little bit further, but
same. I want to see looks.
Put the package together a little bit better, I suppose. But in the group of three, who were those entertainers on the first episode? It was
so it was Elliot, Tina Burner, and Kamora Hall.
Kamora Hall is who I need more from now.
Yeah, I feel that because all I know about her is that she's the Bob Mackie Barbie.
Yeah, and I need, and I know, yes,
gorgeous,
it's 2 episodes,
gorgeous. By the way, wear Bob Mackie. Like, is all of her fashion going to be Bob Mackie inspired, or like I'm kind of wanting to see what else. Like, is that all she wears? Can she do like a dark look? Can she do something that is a little out of the box? Artistic?
I definitely want to see why they cast this person. That's what I want to see. And it's not a read, listeners, or the fandom who's going to hate us for this episode. Yeah. It's more about we haven't seen much yet outside of a gorgeous outfit.
And I believe they're going to do the day and night runways like they did for this group. So I'm interested to see what she chooses for night.
That would actually be interesting if they did that. It would make for not as good TV, but it would make it for fairness.
Yeah.
Because, you want to see something new every episode, and I know the people are new.
Yeah.
But, the themes and the challenges and the contests, you don't want to keep just repeating things.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Apparently I'm a production person now. I'm just going to tell you all about my life.
You have all the answers.
We have all the answers. Oh, also, we are happy to take criticism on our website at www.agemofasecretpodcast.com.
Read us for filth.
Read us for filth on our Instagram, on our Facebook Live page. Seriously, all the stuff that Donna checks. Read us for filth on that.
Gosh. Yeah. Induce my anxiety. Please don't read us, actually. Be kind.
Be kind. And she starts crying in this episode.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. I really do appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back with an episode this Thursday for our regularly scheduled episodes.
Yeah, and we, of course, are going to have more interviews coming up. We're not going to give away who they are. But if you would like to listen to our last 2 episodes as of the release of this episode, we had Atlas and Katya, who we interviewed, and those both went super well. And they were great, interesting interviews with local drag entertainers. Drag entertainer. And what is Katya's title, really?
I would say
she's kind of like a party planner, but for queer party,
queer event extraordinaire.
Yeah, queer event extraordinaire. Let's go with that. So make sure to listen to that episode because it was really good and it was really heartfelt with some good messages.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been another episode of A Gem of a Secret podcast. The hosts of A Gem of a Secret podcast are Donatella My Secrets and Coco Gem Holiday. You may follow Donatella My Secrets at Donatella_My Secrets on Instagram. You may follow Coco Gem Holiday at Coco Gem Holiday on Instagram. Original music by Touche Douche and Party Favors. You can follow them respectively at The Touche Douche and at Party Favors Music on Instagram. For more exclusive content, visit www.agemofasecretpodcast.com. That is AJEM of a secret podcast.com. Be sure to tune in every week on Thursday for a new episode wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, email us at agemofasecretpod@gmail.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.